Welcome back, Millie Max.
What's up? We got to work on rebranding Isaac's name. Have you thought about that?
Dude, I absolutely loved Isaac the Great, but it's taken.
It is taken.
I think that it sucks how if it's taken on Instagram, dude,
You can't.
you can't.
Yeah.
Unless I'm sure there are people who still go through with it and put an underscore or a period, but to me, it just doesn't make sense if it's not available. But it's such a good name that I'm like, can I make it work?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I did Millie Max with 3 L's.
And is that because it was taken?
Yeah, because it was taken.
Millie, it's 2 L's, right? Millie
Yeah.
Max. Yeah. How would you do mine? Just underscore?
Yeah, maybe like an underscore, a number.
I feel like numbers are the worst.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
But, dude, I felt like that defined me so well. Like, that, and I like that energy of the great.
I was also thinking Isaac, like spell it like.
Oh, D-A?
Yeah.
I thought about that, too.
But
It's just explaining that to people,
Yeah,
you
you
know?
would
If
have
you
to
say Isaac
explain
the
that.
Great, they'll think T-H-E.
yeah.
But, yeah, bro. I don't know. I'll see what I'll do. But I definitely need to work on my name rebranding.
We're talking branding, guys, because we were recently at a Tai Lopez personal branding event. We actually went twice, yesterday and Friday, December 1st and 2nd. The other one, I don't remember when it was, but it was like less than a month ago.
Yeah, less than a month ago.
And it was held here in LA. It was, I think it's Tai Lopez is starting to reactivate his brand again because he's been taking time off for a few years now. So I'm not sure if this is the first one but it's fairly new of him doing his events. So that's why we started off talking branding right away, because that was one of the things. And, you know, actually, bro, because there was a speaker there, guys, who she coined the Baconator. She was the one that came up with the name
Wendy's.
Baconator for the Wendy's sandwich hamburger. And after that session, bro, I felt much more confident in Millie Max. I don't know. It just gave me that excuse and validated what I did, because that's kind of what I did. I just knew that Jesus, again, when she was talking about the branding, she talked about grammar. Does it sound right? Do people have trouble pronouncing it? You know, just so many things. You want it to be clear, right?
Right.
And with Jesus, I just felt that there was some friction in it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why I opted for something short and sweet, Max. And then I went a step further of saying Millie Max. So then Millie Max adds more of a sauce to it.
Yeah.
And after she gave that presentation, I just felt much more confident in what I did. And I said, you know what? It's not that I'm Max, and it's just my brand.
Yeah.
It's just my brand, Millie Max.
Yeah.
I just haven't leaned into Millie Max. There will be a point when I go by Millie Max.
Yeah.
But I haven't there yet because I'm not a millionaire yet. So I'm afraid to go there, bro. What do you think?
I think you can embody it right away, and just something that you want to achieve, and just embody that.
I could take that route as well, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel, you know, Tai Lopez at the seminar, he said, who has imposter syndrome? I kind of rose my hand. That feels like imposter syndrome to me. I'm not there yet. I'm not a millionaire. I feel like I'm lying. I could then say, you know, that's why I chose it, right? Because I'm like, that is the direction, that is the goal.
Maybe time is just catching up to that.
Time is
you're already
definitely
there. You can sell yourself on
Oh, okay.
believing that you're there already.
That's
and
interesting.
Time's just catching up. But let's not ignore the elephant in the room, bro. We've been absent from the podcasting game for over 2 months? Close to 2 months? 2 months? I don't know. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Sure. So we might be a little bit rusty, but we got caught up in our businesses and trying to grow and making moves, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Part of the reason why we were absent from podcasting was because we finally opened our third shop. Well, the 3.1 shop in Manhattan Beach, because as you guys know, we posted it here on YouTube. We attempted to open RIB, the truck concept in Manhattan Beach, and the city kicked us out. We couldn't do it, but we knew we were going to come back and take what was rightfully ours. So we opened this time a brick and mortar shop. We've been posting about it on our IGs. I'm sure you guys have seen it. But yeah, bro, we got super busy with that. And well, I feel like you want to add something, so I don't want to derail you from that.
Yeah, quick learning lesson right off the get-go, and it's a realization that Isaac and I came to before even Manhattan Beach, but it was, we had to have a pretty long, thoughtful conversation about how much are we going to put on our plates, because Isaac and I are the type of person who like to go and test lots of things, which is not bad, but you have to be very aware of what you're doing. And when you're doing that, you have to understand that you're shifting realities a lot. When you wake up one day wanting to be a realtor, and then the next day you're waking up to want to be in tech, and then a crypto investor, and then, all these things, you shift realities a lot, and it creates a lot of, what would be the word? It doesn't allow you to focus. And so we put a lot on our plates, and I told Isaac, I said, you know what? I want to really just focus on one thing. I'm tired of just splitting my mind into different things. It got pretty annoying to do that. So I said, let's just focus on one thing. And we started focusing on a program. Yeah. But then the Manhattan Beach location became available, and we decided to go down that route. And that's what's been keeping us busy right now.
Yeah, that was a huge learning lesson for us that we've been improving over time. Tai Lopez said it. There's only a small percentage of people that can do that. And Tai Lopez is an example of that, but he wasn't like that right away. You have to, gain some wisdom, get good people on your side so then you can delegate. But when we were doing the podcast, I enjoyed it. I think you enjoyed it too, but we just took this opportunity to open a new bike shop that we know it's something more solid than, the podcast. But we still enjoy it, and that's why we're here. We also wanted to gather more experiences. Part of the reason why Tai Lopez also went off the grid, off the internet, was because he just wanted to acquire more knowledge, and he wanted to be able to come back to the internet and provide something new, because it got to the point where for podcasts, it was like, what do we talk about? And then we were trying to come up with different topics, and it's not easy. It's not easy to come up with topics, keep people entertained. But now we got the new shop. We made a pretty big investment into our education and our network, and we're going to talk about that too. But yeah, bro, I'm happy to be able to share all these things. And one thing with Manhattan Beach, I don't know which route you want to take it, but when you made that post sharing that we had acquired the bike shop, one thing that stuck out to me, and you've always said this, was that in life, if you don't stay consistent at something, you're going to miss out on potential opportunities that will come just because time passes. And that was something that happened to us, where we attempted to open Rib in Manhattan Beach. We couldn't do it. And if we would have just said, okay, whatever, we're dipping, we're not doing this anymore, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to acquire this shop. And that persistence on keeping an eye out on our competition, I don't know if we want to give context on how the deal came about, but you do?
I think we could a little.
Yeah. Essentially what happened was that we obviously have competition like any other business. And there was a competitor that we knew, and he had two shops, one in Manhattan Beach and one in Redondo Beach, super close to us in Redondo Beach. That's our second location. And we noticed that he wasn't opening as much in Redondo Beach, and it started raising some flags. And among the team, we were texting each other just saying, hey bro, they're not open, it's the weekend and they're not even open, it's peak summer, we don't see him around. So we just kept doing our research, and everything seemed like, I remember even reaching out to they had a specific booking, how we have Fair Harbor for our online booking, they have a Peak Pro. And I remember reaching out to them because I didn't have a way to contact them, and I was like, hey, so-and-so is not open, and I'm just wondering, can you guys give me any type of information? I'm just a little bit concerned because I have customers coming in here saying that they owe them money because they reserved, they showed up, and they're not open. So I went as far as that, right? But then there was one moment where I was grabbing lunch, and right around the corner, there's a sandwich shop, and behind it was the little shack where they were, and I see bikinis coming out of the shop.
This was most recent, no?
Yeah, this was, like 2 months ago. And I see bikinis coming out. A guy's pulling a rack of bikinis out. And I'm like, are they really struggling that bad to the point where they have to sell bikinis to stay afloat, right? We're by the beach, so it kind of made sense.
Bikinis.
Yeah. So it kind of made sense. And then I asked the guy, I stopped the dude, and I asked him, hey, is Tom... Should I say the name? Is Tommy still here? And he's like, no, Tommy is gone. And there's a bikini shop like right on the corner, took over the lease. And that's when I was like, all right, something's going on. And then at that moment, I go to the website and I see that the website says closed, both locations, selling pre-owned inventory. And I hit up Max, and I tell him everything. He makes the run, finds out that in Manhattan Beach, the location is closed too. And then we just go to town. I contact the lease agent that's been helping us with our leases and whatnot. And she starts digging into it. And she's like, yeah, they're gone. Like, that space is open, is available for you guys to come in. And we just go through that process. But that process, took about a month, right? From reaching out to figuring this story that I just told you guys, to moving in. And I don't know if you want to add any more details, but that was the backstory on how we opened our third location.
Yeah, I would just be re-emphasizing what you said. I would say that was a quick move-in.
Yeah.
It was a quick transition. I remember, for example, Rib might have been a little bit slower because we moved in the summer, and I know we looked at it right when we came. I think it was like July, and we didn't open till like maybe September, October. So that took like about 3 months to make that. And then Johnny, with Beachside, I think it was about 3 months as well. We started in January and we opened in April. That was actually a 4-month.
Yeah.
So to be able to turn around this one quickly in 1 month. Just with that experience that we acquired, sometimes when you make new decisions, when you're trying to figure out something for the first time, you're thinking about it a lot because you've never been through a process like this. But here, we knew how to get the bikes. We knew how to implement the systems. We had the employees. We had the inventory. We had the capital. We had everything. And then it was just about negotiating terms. So the only thing that was new was getting a new lease.
Yeah.
Because we had never gone through that. So Isaac went through getting the lease, and that's probably what took a little bit longer.
Yeah. And also because at the same time, we were trying to sign a new lease with our other location in Redondo Beach. So those two piled up at the same time, and we were just kind of like, it was a lot, to try to sign 2 leases and different numbers and different types of negotiation. But it was something new to us because we had purchased businesses before, Redondo Beach, but this time we think of it as in like we got a really good deal. We essentially, in a way, bought a business because, I mean, you guys have seen on my stories or Max's, but the awning is still there. You can tell that it's a bike shop. People knew it was a bike shop. Not even a month had passed by since.
I think it'd been 3 months. That's what.
Oh, really? Since they closed?
Said, yeah.
Interesting. Since they vacated.
Vacated.
Vacated. Wow. Well, somehow the energy was still there, regardless that it was a bike shop.
Yeah.
And as soon as we come in, people were still supporting and stopping by and saying, oh, I thought you guys closed. And we were just like, oh, the previous owner did, but we're new owners. And so that was the only difference, that we didn't buy the business. But the good thing is that we got a really good deal because it still felt like a business.
Yeah, and so now we've been open for about a month, and to me,
A month exactly. We
Yeah.
started November 3rd. Today's December 3rd.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been open for a month now. I've been the one mainly working
Yeah.
at the location, and it's very interesting. I'm not gonna lie, for everybody out there who's constantly having to be at a job or work their own business. It is something that it is very complicated, and something that I personally am not used to anymore for a while now. I would say ever since and even when I was working for the agency, it was remote work. So I was at home, and I still had that freedom of,
Doing your
not
errands.
having to be there at a specific, I still had meetings, but I was still able to move and be quite flexible with my time. But yeah, having to go somewhere for 8 hours, waking up at the same time and being there, and then coming home, and then being left with that little gap at the end of the day when you're tired, and
Yeah.
to do all the things. It is something that I do understand why it's hard for people to be able to make moves, and I'm just going to, I'm figuring things out a lot. I'm not doing too much hands-on work, but then I think about the people who are doing construction, the people who are cooking, the people who are just doing a lot of manual labor that tires the body out. And even if if you're using your brain a lot, and you're having to make a lot of mental decisions, it just really tires you out. And so then coming home and trying to build something on top of that, it is a journey to get out of that 9 to 5 and getting out of your business. And I've told Isaac, I think it's a luxury to have a lot of these things in life. Having a job is a luxury, but then it's like, there's a lot of people that can't have jobs. Yeah. And then it's a luxury to have your own business, and then it's a luxury to be out of. So everything is a luxury for the person who can't attain that, but now me going back in there, I do think about, damn, like it does get pretty tough. Just with your time, with your time, especially because I'm so used to just having so much time to do my things. It does take a stab at it. But we're very happy to continue to expand. We have 3 locations now, and we're able to really cover pretty much all the ground of people coming to the beaches, because we're in 3 out of, I don't know, probably 6 beaches. So we're in about half of them. So if anyone wants to come to the beach in LA, there's a high likelihood that our service will be there to help them. Yeah. And the results from Manhattan Beach from the beginning. On top of that, Isaac wanted to move and leave the apartment, and he wanted to do a 3rd lease. And so we were also having those conversations, and it was very busy, but I was of the mindset of why don't we, I told him, I was like, hey, if you want to move, that's cool, but I just feel like my play would be more conservative, and we sit back, we see how Manhattan produces, and based on how Manhattan produces, we can start making our moves. I was just a little bit fearful of signing 2, that lease, the beachside lease, Isaac lease, me living alone. It was just so much going on, and so. And I was a little bit worried about what Manhattan was going to do, because I'm questioning, well, why did the previous business owner go out of business? Did it have to do something with the shop? Did it have to do something with the location? And we tried to get in contact with them, but that possibility was not there. So, we had to take a risk. Obviously, it was a calculated risk, but I was just thinking, damn, if we just break even this first month, that shit's good to me. But it did better than that. It did better than I thought it would be. So I was very hyped. And you felt that energy from me, right? Like those first 2 weeks, I'm like Isaac, and I just kept like hammering Isaac with the numbers and everything. So I was very hyped. Things have gotten slow because we're just really going into the freaking like slow season. Pretty much. I mean, November starts being slow, and then November through February is the same thing. Even March is still the same. It doesn't really pick up too much in March.
Yeah, no, it stays pretty consistent through the winter. But you mentioned how it was tough for you, right? Just having to adapt to working differently and opening the shop and being more hands-on. And the thing is that sometimes when if you're trying to expand quickly, shit's going to break. You're going to have to wear multiple hats. And ultimately you have to move fast, because we were talking about this, dude. If you and I don't move into this city, someone else is going to see the opportunity and they're gonna beat us to it, right? And we obviously you can, there's always that second option of, let's make sure all of our pieces are in the right place, let's make sure we hire people before we open. But sometimes you just have to go through it, put your big boy pants on and get to work, because if you don't, then someone else is going to take the opportunity. And thankfully we moved super quick. As soon as that sign was up on the window of for lease, we took action, right? So definitely, just keep that in mind, that you initially, for us, we're at a point now where we know that we have to put in that initial work, but we want our team to continue to expand and grow. And shout out to our team, David, Sebas, Josh, Alex, Beto, who have been nothing but supportive of putting in the extra days. David, super helpful, helping out in Manhattan Beach as well, putting in a lot of days. And then Alex holding it down here. Noah too. Oh, yeah. Noah too. And
one time Noah.
Yeah. So, shout out to the team for helping us do that and what's possible. Because, thanks to them, we were able to continue. We were able to continue to put our brand out there and network with more people. And that's another thing that we've been doing. I don't know if we want to transition into that, but so what happened was that 2 months ago, I saw an ad by Tai Lopez, and it was going to be an event here in LA about personal branding. And I'm like, oh shit, like Tai Lopez hasn't been doing this for a while. And I looked at the landing page. I'm like, man, he's going to teach about a lot of good things that I'm interested in. And I sent it to Max, and I was like, hey bro, would you be interested in going?
Well, he didn't, but
no, Max.
You told me once I was here, remember? I was out of town.
No, I sent you the link. And but you never responded. And then I followed up. I even
you did.
Yeah.
You did.
Come on, Max.
Okay, but here's the thing. Isaac sends me millions of things.
You do too, Max. Come on.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. We send each other millions of things that it's like.
What, but you say Isaac sends me?
Well, yeah, because I'm talking about Isaac sends me millions of things, Isaac sends me millions of things and tells me millions of things. Yeah. And sometimes, and I get this, bro, because sometimes I'm like that too. Mm-hmm. I've noticed that now I'm losing a little bit more track. Before, when I didn't have so much going on in my life, mm-hmm. I could remember shit. And I would have that same feeling of like, how do you not remember? I remembered we were just talking about the Barca PSG game, and I asked you, do you remember where you were and what you were doing? And I remembered. Yeah. So I'm like that too. 'Cause sometimes I feel like you tell me like, I sent you this, and I'm like, you did? And I feel like, but there's so much going on.
Well, I didn't mind it, but when you said I didn't, I was like, whoa, what do you mean? But
I feel like sometimes when you tell me, you're like, I sent it to you. I feel like you're a little bit like, bro, I sent it to you. How did you not? Did you ignore it? Did you this? And I'm just, bro, I'm busy. Yeah,
so I sent Max the link, and I was like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? I didn't hear back, so I followed up like, I don't know. Probably, I was like, I'm going to purchase it for myself, even if Max doesn't want to go, right? And then I'll show him I'm committed. Maybe he'll pull the trigger, right? And I'm like, bro, like, this is great. Let's do the VIP ticket where we go 2 days. We get to have a lunch with Tai and just more exclusive, right? So we pull the trigger and we go. And, I mean, we had a good time, right? Like, we met really good people, witnessing Tai Lopez
for the
first time, and meeting him for the first time. We grabbed some pics with him, and just getting into that world again of meeting other business owners. Because the truth is, in all these, I don't know, 4 years that we've been here in Cali, the only time we meet other business owners is when we had our agency, and that kind of like put us more in that vibe of like, okay, we have to meet other business owners and talk to them. But doing our bike shops, we don't really interact with many business owners. So being in that environment felt really inspiring, and that you could learn more and hear from other business owners. So it inspired us a lot. And I don't know if we want to add anything about that specific event, but then as we told you at the beginning, we went a second time.
we met Tai Lopez, and it was a very, at first it is one of those, a little bit of, damn, it's Tai Lopez, and it's the person who really helped you. For me and Isaac, what happened was we saw his program, we bought his program, and thanks to that program, it gave me the confidence to say, I remember telling Isaac, if this program really shows us how we can make money and I can see that, I'll drop out. Like, I remember
that was the SMMA, the social media marketing agency.
Yeah,
program.
I remember telling, and then I remember we were like 5 videos in. Yeah. And they talk Facebook ads, and I saw that, and I was like, bro, there's no way no one's gonna pay us. We can do this.
Right.
And so I got that confidence to really just put ourselves to drop out and be able to make the move. So once we made that move, we were able to build our agency, right? And I remember sending Tai Lopez one day, I'm gonna meet you and this and that, and I want you to be my mentor.
You don't have the DMs?
I do.
Did you show him?
I didn't.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. But I didn't.
He still loved your testimony though.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the things that happened. I told him, hey, we bought your program. Now we own 3 bike shops. And he loved that right away. So he took out his phone and started recording it. And it was such a because I've seen a lot of him taking his phone and doing the testimonials of his students, So it was a pretty surreal moment because I could just visualize. I'm like, damn, like I'm going to be on his Instagram where he always shares his testimonials,
But you know what's funny is that I'm sure he grabbed a few more and he only reposted that one.
Yeah, that event. Yeah, he almost only... Yeah, he only posted that one.
So the way that we met him, for the people that are interested, we were just having lunch. It was like a break to go grab lunch, and we
sat by Albert.
Yeah, we sat by Albert Preciado. I also shared a photo with him on my story. I don't know if you did, but
I don't.
AP, we call him AP. Albert is one of Tai Lopez's students, and now he made it big time as well, and uses a lot of Tai's techniques. And he's Hispanic, so he definitely pulls a lot of that Hispanic audience. And we were sitting right next to, we sat down to go grab lunch, and his wife, AP's wife, was there. And we didn't know that was like the connection, right? Between that, we didn't know that was AP's wife. And Max and I are talking, trying to network, obviously. And then AP comes. He was a speaker at that event. So that's why we recognized him right away. He spoke before lunch. And he sits down and we just start chatting with him, right? And obviously we're asking him questions and whatnot. And then I just started hearing people getting up from their seats.
Yeah, like you can feel the energy, right?
Yeah, just people started getting up from their seats, and we turned around and we just see people wanting, like, Tai Lopez came in there to talk to the speakers, just to probably like thank them, catch up to them.
I think he was saying hi to everybody.
Yeah.
But he saw Albert sitting, and so he did come to Albert, and then him and Albert really started to just talk.
Yeah, and we were all just like around in a circle, just like listening to the conversation, waiting to grab a pic with him, right?
Well, I was listening to the conversation to just see how they communicate.
Right.
Are there any nuggies being, how are they talking to each other?
Yeah.
I'm really just trying to analyze. But then I was like, I'll also get the pic,
Yeah.
I was right there because I was right next to Albert.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting right, like, I'm sitting right here and they're talking like literally right there. So I had front row seat sitting down. So I was like just listening. But a line did start to form to get pictures.
So then we just, we waited until they were done, and Max and I approached them, and we shared our story, how we had the bike shops, and he said, dang, like, get 10 bike shops and sell it to a hedge fund, right? And it just kind of stuck in our mind, gave us that, like, definitely that boost, to continue to go down this path. And long story short, it was just very, very eye-opening to be around people like Tai. And Tai did a really good job of instilling a lot of strategies and lessons of, one of the most important ones, like the PayPal mafia, right? Mm-hmm. He talked a lot about how Elon Musk had his PayPal mafia, and a lot of people in there who had built like really amazing things and really smart people. And it really comes down to, Tai always says this, but I don't remember what it's 150 people, but has a specific term, right? The 150 people. No. It's like a law, not like a law, but anyways,
I'm not sure.
it's like you need to have in your group of your inner circle like 150 people, and for us, it's hard to meet that many people when we're operating our bike shops or we're making moves and just busy and not prioritizing networking, socializing, going out. And, you know, when you go out, it's like to the club, to a bar, like, you know, you're not there to really connect on a business, personal level. It's hard to continue to build those relationships. And most of the time, they also probably don't have businesses. So being in that environment just gave us the opportunity to meet other people. I walked away with some good contacts, potentially going to work with someone. It was just amazing, bro. I really enjoyed it. And then you found out that he was going to do a second event, right? And you were like, bro, we should go again for the repetition. But you can share kind of like what went through your head as to why you wanted to go again.
Another thing, yeah, we came out with a lot of ideas. And to me, I swear, everything that he said, because it's a lot of information being thrown at you at the event, right? Mm-hmm. So it takes a minute for the information to kind of like settle in, to like stir in your mind, and for you to be able to grasp it and do something out of it, right? And so I know a lot of people probably have the experience of going to a concert. So when you go to a concert or a festival, you go and you just feel that energy, you know, of the music, of the energy, of the vibration, that the next day you still carry that energy. Like you want to go again, you want to do it a second time, you know, you want to go to another festival. So it was the same thing when we went to the Tai Lopez event. I had that energy and I just felt, you know, that I was a sponge, and Tai was throwing all this information and I was just soaking it all in. And I told Isaac, I need to do that. Obviously we need to, but I need to do this again to be able to soak that information again. Even if he does the same things, I want to be able to grasp it one more time, because, you know, when you're in there, he's saying some things and you're like, is this important? But then like, you go the next day and you're like, fuck, that was important. Like, what did he say about that? So I told Isaac, even if he says the same things, I know what he was saying now, and I want to jot them down. So we decided to go again. And also for me, here's another lesson for you guys. For us, you know, we've been down this road for 7 years and we haven't been able to find a mentor. So I've also been on this wave recently, and I've been telling Isaac, bro, we need to find a mentor. We need to find a mentor. And we haven't been able to find a mentor. And it's also been very hard for us to network. But that's also because, here's a learning lesson. As Isaac was saying, you're not going to find these people at the bar. You're not going to find these people when you're buying coffee. You're not going to find these people at your business. You know, maybe if you have a business, you know, that attracts that energy. But you're not going to stumble upon these people. It's kind of the narrative of, I'm trying to correlate it to something, but it's this, I don't know, I just feel that sometimes it's this illusion that I'm going to find the mentor, it's just going to come, it's going to appear, I'm going to stumble upon the mentor, you know? And that's an illusion. That's not going to happen in life. The way you're going to be able to network and the way you're going to be able to find a mentor is by paying for that. And being able to go to these events where everybody, you know, that's the cool thing about these events is there's like 100 to 150 people, and it's all people who have different types of businesses. And in that concentrated area, you can talk to someone who does real estate, you can talk to someone who does marketing, you can talk to someone who does sales, bike shops, everything, right? In that single location. So it's a very good place for you to talk to people and generate those contacts. And of course you have the speakers who could be the mentors. You know, a lot of them offer mentorships, but you have to pay for those. And so, you know, that's kind of one of the things that I realized from going to the event is that you have to pay for a mentor. Because this is the illusion. For soccer players, what do you guys think when you're growing up and you're playing soccer? Oh, I'm going to get discovered. I have to play, like, I'm going to play good, and there's going to be someone that watches me and takes me pro. That shit's never going to happen. Yeah. That doesn't happen. It's like, and they fucking do this in movies. They did it. We were just watching the Goal movie, and that's what happened. He's playing at the park. This English guy sees him and scouts him and takes him to the big leagues. fucking biggest illusion.
That's like the 1%, you know?
The 0.1 fucking percent.
Yeah.
And so in business, that's the same thing. You're not gonna be able to get to a mentor that is a billionaire or a millionaire and is gonna see you and be like, you have potential, I'm gonna take you under my wing. That's not gonna happen.
And there's also levels, bro, right? Because you're not gonna find a mentor that's doing 10 million and you're not even cracking 100K, you know?
Right.
Like, you will probably be able to find someone who's, if you're doing 10K a month, right, you're probably gonna be able to find someone that's doing double, or, you know, just like there are levels to this. And unfortunately, that's the one thing that we learned by going to this event too, is that in a way you do kind of have to buy your way to the top, right? Because you're acquiring knowledge from coaches like Tai Lopez, AP. But the important thing that we learned is that you really have to align with the mentor. And that was something that in the first event, obviously, when you go to these events, there's always an upsell, like at the end, right?
Right.
It's just part of the funnel. You go to this event that doesn't cost too much, but then for the people who are serious and want to, not that people are not serious when they go, but for the people who have the finances, maybe they're a little bit above in terms of how much money they're making, they're going to be able to spend on that coaching. And Tai Lopez, his first event, he did offer at the end just more of a mentorship, mastermind type of program. The first time that we went, it was like 25K, and then another tier was 50K. And we were like, shoot, man, like we've been looking for somebody, but 25K does, you know,
it's a good amount.
It's a good amount, you know?
And it wasn't really a mentorship.
Yeah.
It was more of a mastermind where, you know, he sets up these events and, you know, he brings in the people and, you know, you're able to have maybe an interaction just like I had the interaction with him. But it's obviously not going to be like a one-on-one mentorship. To get that one-on-one mentorship is 100K.
Yeah, yeah. So then, like I told you guys, we also met AP, Albert, and after the event, Albert was hitting us up also because he does coaching too. He has his own event driven, and he wanted us to be part of he does something similar to Tai, where it's like a mastermind, but we felt like maybe Albert was a little bit more.
We weren't in alignment.
We weren't in alignment with him and how his personality. I respect him and I like him, and I wanted, you know, it's someone that I would like to have in my 150, right? But it's just not someone where we knew we had to like make the right decision and get our first real mentor and follow a formula. And just AP, we didn't think it was him. But thankfully we waited, and you know, by the by the grace of God, like we waited, we didn't pull the trigger, even though AP was hella persistent.
He was hitting us up every day.
Yeah. But you know, that sells. And we go to the second event because we were like, bro, we really have to see if we want to do Tai's thing, because we were really thinking about those two, right? AP, Tai, which one should we do? And we go to the second event, and at the end, the exact same thing is 15K for us both, right? It's 15K. So then at that point, I had been struggling with the idea that people just change the price of things. And I was battling with that idea of like, bro, like, why is there not a solid price on things? Like, why is it that AP is telling me this number and then the next day it's a different number? I go to his website and it's not there. And I was just struggling with that idea. And Max was just telling me, bro, I just feel like money's made up. You know, these offers, these guys are just, you know, they test a lot of things and they're going to change it. And since most of it is also just knowledge and getting people together, they have some costs, right? Because they pay for a venue, they have food, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, when it's knowledge, you can play around with it a lot. And I was struggling with that. So we go and it's 15K. And I'm like, bro, thank God, you know, that we came again. Yeah, we spent more to go a second time, but we saved, you know, if we pulled the trigger on a 25K program, mastermind, and now we're paying, well, we actually paid 12.5 because Max negotiated a deal. But yeah, we saved a lot of money, bro. And that was the thing that for me, I'm like, dude, money, like Max was saying, dude, money is just like a made up thing. And you have more to say about that. But, you know, you were telling me the persistence part, and you should share something about that. But we did pull the trigger on the mastermind with Tai Lopez. And the thing that I told Max that is that, dude, and even AP, this is something that I really like about AP. AP was like, you should try to befriend these people. Like Tai Lopez, me, and the speakers here. You should try to befriend them because you want to come here and make those type of connections. And for us, the second time that we went, you know, Tai Lopez recognized you. Tai Lopez also spoke to me differently because I was at the front table where it's reserved for the people who are interested in becoming closer to him. And like Tai Lopez focused on me. And, you know, it was a good feeling to know that, fuck, like Tai Lopez is such a freaking badass and he's acknowledging me. But it's that repetition, like AP said. It takes money to build that relationship with them because to them, that's like, oh shit, like this person really cares about what I'm doing. He's willing to put the money where his mouth is and I'm going to help him.
I started when I finished filling out the credit card information for Tai was after he got done talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was just like, oh, he cares.
Yeah.
You know, I just see. That's one of the things that I was telling Isaac from other people. I just felt like they were trying to sell us. Trying to sell us. I would try to ask them a question. Hey, what do you think about this? I'm feeling like this. And they were just like, they wouldn't give me any value, which, okay. But I'm just the type of person who I'm like, give me your mindset. Let me understand how you think. Tell me like what you think I should do. Obviously, you're not gonna give me the whole sauce. Yeah. But give me something so I can see how you operate, and then I can make a decision based on, you know, if we align. And so when Tai spoke to you, he like gave you a good 5 minutes where he was like telling you about your personality and trying to understand you. And I'm like, bro, this person cares. So like, I'm like, and he was doing that with everybody. So it wasn't, but you know. It hit a little bit more home when he did that. As far as why we also chose Tai, it's because the wealth of knowledge that this guy has. I see the other speakers and I see how they've gotten to those levels and how they've made a lot of money. But Tai, guys, he just has so much information and the way he breaks it down. I remember that when he spoke at the first event, when they introduced him, Phil, his copywriter, said, yeah, sometimes my brain starts to hurt because Tai is throwing so much information that it is a lot. It is a lot to handle.
He said it's like drinking water out of
oof.
It was like a good analogy, bro.
No, you can't finish.
But like the thing is that it was overwhelming. Like you cannot handle that much information.
Yeah, and so I remember he said that. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Because I always value, you know, the opinions of people who work with him because they're with him constantly, you know. Yeah. And so when he said that, I was like, damn. And guys, Tai just. The thing is, at the last event yesterday, I was talking to Jeremy, which was one of his team members, and he said, yeah, we're supposed to wrap up at 5. I don't know. I mean, I want to believe that he was being honest. Yeah. But they were supposed to wrap up at 5. And, you know, I never got that sense from Tai, like, I got to go. Yeah. I felt like what he did is he really pushed it to the limit. He didn't give a lot of time for like one-on-ones after. Yeah. But like to give everybody like the most that he can, I felt like he did push it. I could even see him like texting, like trying to finish, like I'm on my way or something. I felt like that's what he was doing. And so I really liked that. I just really liked everything about Tai. There was really nothing from Tai that I was like, you know what? This is a red flag. Like, I don't like this. I was just like, everything that he was doing, I really liked. And I mean, as far as the money situation, because you said to mention something about it, I was just going through, I feel that I've been the one in this partnership to go a little bit more into the sales aspect, you know, starting with the negotiations by Chris Voss. Yeah. You know, that's when I started to try to like get a little bit better at sales and understand tactics and negotiating. But then also recently what happened this week, bro, is I was watching the Grant Cardone Undercover Billionaire. And so he literally, it's a show where he starts from zero. He only has $100 and he has to make $1 million in 90 days. So he has to negotiate a lot, bro. He has to negotiate a lot to get to the top.
The best, no?
And so one of the things he said, he's like, I never split the difference. Like, I never split the difference. And I was like, fuck, like, this guy's always trying to get the upper hand, you know?
Yeah.
So you were also telling me about, like, the prices and this and that. And then,
well, for the people that don't understand, what does it mean, like, split the difference?
Right. So, you know, let's say something is valued at $500. You say, hey, I want to offer you, let's say 200. So then what's the difference? 300, right? So then the other opponent will be like, well, let's just do 350. We'll split the difference. You know, and he's like, I never split the difference. I do 50 of that 50. So if it's 350, I'll do between 200 and 350, which is 150, which is 275. So I'll try to get 275, you know, I never split the difference. And so, you know, that stuck to me. And I was like, and I saw how, like, they dropped the price, guys. They dropped the price from the mentorship from 25K to 10K. Yeah. And I was like, bro, money's just fucking made up. It's not real. Because I'm the type of person, I tell Isaac this, but I'm the type of person that I like paying for the price. You know, if you price it at that amount, I'm going to respect that because that's what I demand. You know, like when people come to my business, my prices are my prices and you got to respect my prices. Now, if I fuck with you and you tell me something that's good or you give me a good reason to give you a discount, then I'll do it. But many times people come and they're like, right away, can I have a discount? No, you can't, bro. Yeah. No, you can't. So that's how I am, and I don't like giving people discounts. But then when I saw that they just like are making up these prices, and I think someone said it, how like money is just, it's all made up. It's just not a real concept. It's just, you give it a try, and you know it is what it is. So when they dropped it from 25 to 10, I was like, but then what happened is we asked them, hey, for both of us, would it be 10 because we're a business? And they said, no, we'll do the second one at 50% off. So then I was like, let me negotiate.
Yeah, no, that was clutch that you were able to bring it down from 15 to 12.5. I just remember you walked up because we were sitting down still listening to Tai, and you came back and you're like, I think you showed me a piece of paper. Or how did you, or you just told me?
I showed you my phone. I think I
and you just typed, I was able to bring it down to 1250. And I was like, nice.
You were just like, nice.
But we have about 10 minutes left, bro. But I just wanted to say one thing that was super important was that it's very important to, again, choose your mentor right. And props to Tai, because at the end of the day, again, he's a salesperson. But I know that he's been so focused on understanding personalities, psychology, reading people. And even though I know he uses it to close sales, at the end of the day, it's so helpful. You know, you asked, I told you yesterday when we were talking after the event, I was like, dude, I don't mind paying if it's going to benefit me a lot. If it's going to make me more money, if it's going to make me smarter, wiser, I don't mind it. You can sell me, right? But if it benefits me, I'll pay it. So at that event, Tai goes so hard on personality tests. And Tai Lopez, you know, this was something that completely blew me away. But the people that he attracts is people who like novelty, who like doing different things. But Tai is the only person that I think, because you see the APs, the Grant Cardones, the Tates, they're skewed so much in like one area, right? You picture Tate, like he's super like, you know, on
red pill.
Yeah, like super red pill. Grant Cardone is like the super money. Yeah, AP, same thing. Very, you know, go getter. Like don't work on Thanksgiving. Don't spend time. Yeah, and Max and I like Tai because we're not like that. Like we're pretty balanced. You know, we have our moments where it's like, bro, let's fucking go get this money, right? But we also have a moment where it's like, hey, like, focus.
Well, like you focus on your health a lot, and that's one of the things that we notice from a lot of the speakers. Like no hate, but you know, it is hard to do everything
Yeah.
And a lot of the speakers either were like hella skinny or like they were overweight.
Yeah. So with Tai, it's just, again, we did all these tests, which I would highly recommend. You can go to 12types.com. It's a website by Tai.
Well, we'll link it.
Yeah, we will link it, and do as many tests as possible to figure who you are, and also pay attention to who you follow. Because if you're, for example, in my case, I follow Tai. Who is Tai? Like, what does he do? And yeah, like, he put it perfectly. He's like, it was the SSG, self-selected group.
Yeah.
And it's basically the people that, you know, Tai put this example. If I come here, right, and I talk about politics, who's going to enjoy that? Nobody, because the people that follow me, I'm not very political. Like, I don't really talk about politics. And everyone kind of at that moment was like, oh shit, like, that's true, you know? So it was just super easy for us to just make that decision of, let's not go with AP, let's go with someone that aligns with our values. And now we're like, bro, if we're going to hire people, which when we hire people, let's have them do these tests. That's the only true way to figure out who they are, because those tests were super revealing. I know Tai has been investing a lot of time and money into these tests, and they were super revealing for us. So I really wanted to touch on the fact that I want to explain, because some of you might know Tai or might, you know, at some point come across one of his ads. For this mastermind is a 3 weekend 3 events, right, out of the year. We get a lot more things, but that's like the main thing that they focus on. You get 3 events out of the year. It's Friday through Sunday, but for the 10K, we only spend 2 days, right, Saturday and Sunday. So he has a lot more events throughout the year, but we just get to spend those 3 throughout the year in a mastermind. We don't know the location exactly, but that's basically what it is. And we just hope, Max asked me, like, what do you want to get out of this? And I was like, 4 things. Let me see if I remember. But number 1 is I want to get closer to Tai, right? Like, that level, because he has a lot more things. The highest one, the tie-in, which I talked to you about, it's like $1 million. So we're starting at like the 10K mark. We started with like 67 steps, $67, right? Then SMMA program, like 1,000. Then we did this events, which if you put the 2 events together, like 2K, closer to 2K. Then now we're at the 10K, 12.5. And it's a funnel, right? But at the end of the day, I told Max, if we learn, I'm willing to pay. But number 1, I want to get closer to Tai. Number 2, it's that mafia, right? That PayPal mafia. I really wanted to have people in our group that are on our same level, but also people who are above us, because we need that synergy from those people who are making millions, doing great things, and we just need that. And number 3, we have goals with our bike shops to hit certain metrics that we want to do in 2024. And I was like, dude, if we're around these people, which we learn a lot of good nuggies from business owners, I'm like, bro, let's push ourselves and meet these people and do that. And number 4 was just working on our personal brand, which is in a way why I think we're doing this again, but really focusing on and you've been on that wave too of, you know, having your own personal brand. I've been on my wave too of having my own personal brand. But yeah, those are basically the 4 things that I told Max. This is why I want to do this, and just sharing this with you guys so you guys kind of know like what's going on.
Yeah, so like I said, we'll drop the links for the quizzes, but there's going to be 2 quizzes. There's going to be the ideal career, and then there's going to be the 4 motivations. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be hard for me to explain, you know, what these quizzes will tell you about yourself. But the 4 motivations will tell you like what drives you.
It says on the website.
It says on the website. Yeah. So just read it and try to understand it. That was one of the things, you know, that he focused on, which is that psychology, and it's just super helpful because it gets to, you know, do it with your parents, do it with your friends, so you can see how they are. Because sometimes, you know, for example, Isaac is a specific way, I'm a specific way, and sometimes there is not that awareness that, hey, I'm like this and you're like that, and there's not, you know, it's hard to change because this is who I am, so you just have to adapt to who I am. But many times, you know, how many times have you not left a significant other because you want to change them? You can't really change people. There's some things you can change, but there are some things that are just so instilled literally in our genes, and so it's hard to change. But if you're aware of who they are, then you can cater to those things and not have to feel like there's friction. It's just who they are. And before changing them, that you might even be like, you know what, this is we just cut it at this. I don't want to further this relationship. You know, like you get to know people right away with this, so you know if that's gonna be a good alignment or not for you.
It becomes super easy to make the tough decisions, right? Like, yeah, it just makes it so much easier to determine if you want to partner up with this person, if you want to date this girl, if you want to date this guy. You really have to, and that's something that we were talking about, where it's like, well, but you also want someone to complement you, right? Because if you have some weaknesses, you want maybe the other person to have some strengths. But that was something that we weren't so sure about, because then sometimes it's like, well, maybe there are couples too who both of them are introverts and they just like dating an introvert because they're like, don't put me out in the spotlight like that, you know. But then there are people who's like, fuck, like I know I don't like the spotlight, but maybe I should be with someone that likes the spotlight so we can.
Yeah, I think the only problem is like if you date like someone that's an introvert but you want an extrovert and you want to change her, you know,
right?
Then it's like there's the there's the problem.
Yeah, but that's it, guys. Basically, just wanted to share with you guys what we've been up to. The bike shop got that third bike shop in Manhattan Beach. And then our investment into this mastermind of Tai Lopez will definitely keep you guys updated. That's going to happen next year, 3 times a year. And yeah, bro, I think 2024 is going to be a crazy year. I hope it's a crazy good year for you guys as well. Anybody watching. And I'm definitely very, very excited for what's to come.
Yeah, I know it's tough out there, guys. I know it's tough to be able to make the moves. A lot is going on. A lot is going on against you. Social media, AI. We were just talking about AI yesterday. That's going to be going against you. The food that you're eating, that's probably going against you. Your past traumas, your parents. There is everything.
Your genes. Everything is against you guys. So I completely understand why it's hard to level up. But it's not impossible. And you have to be able to just find that thing. Again, it's not fighting against your nature. It's figuring out who you are and having that awareness and doubling down on your strengths. Don't go against who you are. Double down on who you are and on your good stuff, not on the bad stuff. A lot of people double down on the bad stuff. Double down on the good stuff. You know, I believe in everybody. I believe in everybody here, but it's not overnight. And it's not that illusion that you get sold that it's going to happen one day. You know, I was speaking to a lot of people at the event and they said they were there and they saw me 27 and, you know, they're like, fuck, I took a minute. I wanted a party, or I just said I could do it tomorrow. And now they're like wanting to do it. Just, you know, everybody has their own timing. But I believe in you guys. 2024 is going to come ahead. Just keep trying, bro. As long as you keep trying, it's not going to be perfect, you know. It's not going to be perfect. But as long as you keep trying, you might get there. And if not, you die trying. Keep showing up. Yeah, well said, bro. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We don't have plans of maybe doing this consistently again, but definitely want to pop in here whenever we have something good to talk about, give you guys some updates. But we'll see what happens. And like Max said, just keep at it, keep showing up, and don't try to skip the levels. Definitely don't try to skip the levels. Go at your own pace. With social media, like, you know, you see the 1% all the time, and it's super easy to compare yourself to those people. It happens to me. I'm sure it happens to Max. So just take it slow, enjoy the process, and you know, make sure you're with people who are worth fighting for ultimately.
One last thing.
Yeah,
I know it's about that season again, guys. Maybe this will be the 14th, guys. La 14. Who knows? Who knows? We can all just prender las veladoras and hope for it. I know y'all are thinking about me, but it can happen. I'm a cynic. I'm skeptical. I don't think they're gonna do it.
You're threat based.
But deep down, of course I want them to do it.
Yeah.
Of course I want them.
And for people that don't know what he's talking about, he's talking about America and La Liga MX.
Right, the championship. They made it to the semifinals, so let's go.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.